बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम। डियर स्टूडेंट्स, बिज़नेस इकनॉमिक्स ECO 400 के लेक्चर नंबर 15 में खुश आमदीद। पहले की तरह हम आज के लेक्चर में पिछले लेक्चर पे बात करेंगे चंद मिनट के लिए और उसके बाद आज का लेक्चर शुरू करेंगे। सो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल वी वुड लाइक टू नो व्हाट वी हैव लर्नड इन द प्रीवियस लेक्चर। So we discussed about the shortcoming of GDP. Now, as we learned that GDP is the market value of all final goods and services produced in a country during a specific time period, which is normally a year, right? So that is called GDP. But we have seen that some of the activities, some of the goods which actually promote are good or beneficial for the society, so are excluded from the GDP. So that needs to be included. So that like for example, if we talk about time spent on leisure, time spent with parents, children's, so these kind of things must be included. But there are something which are included in GDP, and those goods or those activities might be excluded from the calculation of GDP. Like if we talk about air pollution, water pollution, and something like that. So these things need to be excluded from the GDP, right? So we have discussed a lot of shortcomings of GDP. So however, GDP is one of the best measure of a country's economic growth. So whenever you want to compare between the countries about the standard of living, about the welfare of the society, we must look at the GDP of the respective countries, and we can decide that which country has high level of standard of living, which has low level of standard of living, कहाँ पे poverty कम है, कहाँ पे poverty ज़्यादा है. So GDP is one of the major indicator of an economy on which you can compare different countries' growth rate. After that, we have discussed the factor supply, how we can determine the factor supply. Like we have two factors of production, like capital and labor, as we know that in the production function. So we have discussed that firm will continue to hire labor until the point marginal productivity of labor is equal to its price, which is wage rate. Similarly, firm will continue to employ capital in the production process until marginal productivity of capital is equal to its wages, which is rental price. And we have also seen that as the factor input is increased, its marginal productivity falls if other things remain constant or other things remains equal. So this was all about what we have learned in the previous lecture. So we start today's lecture, and first of all the outline which we are going to follow in today's lecture. आज के लेक्चर में हम इस तरह से कुछ पढ़ेंगे. सबसे पहले हम बात करेंगे फाइनेंशियल सिस्टम की. So what kind of financial systems are in the country and how they work, and then we'll talk about saving and investment in the national income accounts. So how saving and investment can be related with each other, and how saving is determined, how investment is determined. So we'll look into that in today's lecture. And lastly, we'll talk about the market for loanable funds. So this is the sequence of our lecture which we are going to discuss in today's class. तो सबसे पहले शुरू करते हैं फाइनेंशियल सिस्टम से. The financial system consists of the group of institutions in the economy that help to match one person's saving with another person investment, right? So it is a group of institution basically. जब भी कभी आप फाइनेंशियल सिस्टम की बात करते हैं, किसी कंट्री की फाइनेंशियल सिस्टम की बात करते हैं, तो it is a group of institution basically in the economy that helps to match one person saving with another person investment. तो कुछ लोग जो है इकोनॉमी में सेविंग कर रहे होते हैं, कुछ ने इन्वेस्टमेंट करनी होती है. तो ये जो इंस्टीट्यूशन है इनका जो काम है कि जो लोग सेविंग कर रहे हैं उनकी सेविंग को मैच करना विद दोज पीपल हु आर मेकिंग इन्वेस्टमेंट इन द कंट्री. So it moves the economy scarce resources from savers to borrowers. So the job of financial system or these financial institution is to utilize the economy scarce resources from savers to the borrowers. The financial system is made up of financial institutions that coordinate actions of savers and borrowers. So फाइनेंशियल सिस्टम में हम फाइनेंशियल इंस्टीट्यूशन की बात करते हैं और उन फाइनेंशियल इंस्टीट्यूशन का जो काम होता है बेसिकली दे बेसिकली coordinate between the savers and the borrowers, the person who are saving money in the economy, the person who are borrowing money for in the economy for investment purposes. Now financial institution can be grouped into two different categories. So we can divide financial systems, financial institutions into two different categories. One is the financial market, the other is financial institution. So we'll talk about all these about these two categories of financial institutions in detail. So first we see when we see about the financial market. Now financial market are these institutions through which savers can directly provide funds to the borrower. So these are the institutions, these are the markets from where savers can directly provide funds to the borrowers. Second is the financial intermediaries. These are the financial institutions through which savers can indirectly provide funds to the borrower. So the difference between these two types of financial system, financial institution, one is the financial market. So through these institutions, savers can directly provide funds to the borrower, and the other is the financial intermediaries, and through these institutions savers can provide funds to the borrower indirectly. So we'll discuss these two financial institutions in detail in the coming slides. Now first of all we'll talk about the financial market. Financial markets की बात करेंगे, कौन कौन सी financial markets मुल्क में available होती है इकोनॉमी में, तो उनकी डिटेल से बात करेंगे. First type of financial market is the bond market. So what is bond market, what is a bond, and what are the characteristics of bond, that we are going to discuss in this slide. Now a bond is a certificate of indebtedness that specifies obligations of the borrowers to the holder of the bond. तो ये एक ऐसा सर्टिफिकेट होता है बेसिकली जो कि स्पेसिफाई करता है उन ऑब्लिगेशंस को जो कि borrowers को होती हैं and who have borrowers को फेस करनी पड़ती हैं from the side of who has holding that bond. So it is kind of a certificate which is with the holder of the bond, and basically borrower जो है जो बेच रहा है bond, so he is basically legally bound to follow those obligations written on that particular certificate. Now what are the, आपने देखा होगा bonds, different किस्म के bonds होते हैं, अभी थोड़ी देर में उनकी बात करेंगे. So bonds basically are sold by the local government, by the federal government, by the corporations, right? So whenever they need money, local governments need money, whenever federal government need money, whenever corporation need money, they sell bond to the public, right? So bond basically is a certificate in which basically public or people or individual want to invest money for the future returns. Now what are the characteristics of a bond? Now term, normally the length of time until the bond matures, that is known as the term of a bond, right? So short run bonds are for 3 months, 6 months, and the long run bonds time period for maturity is almost about 20 years. So second characteristic is credit risk, the probability that the borrower will fail to pay some of the interest or the principal, right? Now sometimes there is a chance that that the borrower will fail to pay some of the interest or the principal on the bond to the holder of the bond. So that is known as the credit risk. Now, tax treatment is one of the other characteristic of a bond. The way in which tax laws treat the interest on bond. Now, how tax, basically, you know, each income is in the country is a taxable income. So there is a tax on the interest rate or on the income earned through bond. So how tax treat that income which is earned through the interest rate on bond? So that is basically the tax treatment. So this is one of the other characteristic of a bond. And municipal bonds are federal tax exempted. So the bonds sold by the federal government are, and those bonds are known as the municipal bond. Those kind of bonds are exempted from the tax, right? So we have talked about the bond. Bond क्या है? Bond एक certificate है, right? So that specifies the obligation of borrower to the holders of the bond. उसके बाद हमने bond की characteristics की बात की, and we said that term is one of the characteristics, that the length of time till the bonds matures, until the bond matures, right? So the time of the bond until it can get matured, and the holder of the bond can get maximum benefit. Credit risk: there is a risk, there is a probability, there is a chance that borrower will fail to pay sometime the interest or the principal amount to the bond holders. Tax treatment: there is a tax on the income or on the interest rate which is earned on bond. Municipal bonds are those bonds which are federally tax exempt. Next type of the financial market is about the stock market. So we are discussing the financial within financial system. We are discussing the first category of financial institution, which is financial market. Our financial market को हमने शुरू किया. That financial market has different type of markets. Like one we have already discussed, which is the bond market. Now a second financial market in any economy is the stock market. Now stock market, basically stock represents a claim to a partial ownership in a firm, and is therefore a claim to the profit that the firms make, right? Stocks के बारे में आपने सुना होगा. There are stock markets in all over the world, in each country, right? This is a place where the firm sell shares of their companies, right? And stock represents a claim on to partial ownership, or the share basically represent a claim a partial ownership. तो जितनी अमाउंट का जितना शेयर आप खरीदते हैं तो वो आपकी उस फर्म में ऑनरशिप उतनी हो जाती है. और इस तरह एक क्लेम, और आप क्लेम कर सकते हैं कि when the firm will earn profit, of course, and that firm will share the profit with you in as per your percentage in the firm. Now the sale of stock to raise money is called equity financing, right? So when the firms want to raise money for investment or for some other purposes, and they want to sell the stock in the market, so that kind of activity is known as equity financing. So the sale of stock to raise money is called equity financing. तो जब भी कोई firm पैसा बढ़ा लेने के लिए for investment or for some other requirement, other need, so whenever they want to raise money by selling a stock, so that sort of activity is known as equity financing. Now compared to bonds, stocks offer both higher risk and potentially higher returns. Now if we compare these two sort of financial market, like if we compare the bond market with the stock market, stock market is comparatively high risk market, and when there is high risk in the stock market, so there are high returns also. The most important stock markets in the United States are the New York Stock Exchange, the American Stock Exchange, and Nasdaq, So if we talk about Pakistan, तो पाकिस्तान में we have Karachi Stock Exchange, Islamabad Stock Exchange, Lahore Stock Exchange. The main stock exchange in Pakistan is the Karachi Stock Exchange. KSE का नाम आपने सुना होगा, Karachi Stock Exchange. So most of the newspapers, stock tables provide the following information. अगर आप न्यूज़ में देखें तो every day in the newspaper there is a table which provide information about the stocks, about the shares which you have purchased of different companies, and the information which they contain is as follows. Now that table which is given in the newspaper about the stock information, तो इस तरह की कुछ information होती है. Now there is information about the price of a share. So what is the price of a particular one share? Volume, number of shares sold, right? How much shares have been sold and how much shares have been left of that particular company. Dividends, that the profit paid to the stockholder. There is information about the dividends and the profit which is going to be paid to the stockholders or the shareholders. Now, and the last is the price earning ratio, right? There is a ratio given about the prices, about the earnings of that particular stock or share. Now, this was one of the financial institutions which operate under the financial system of an economy. तो हमने बात की, हमने जैसे कि शुरू में कहा कि there are two financial institutions in the country. One is the financial market, the other is financial intermediaries. तो हमने जब फाइनेंशियल मार्केट की बात की तो हमने कहा दो तरह की मार्केट्स होती हैं किसी इकोनॉमी में, किसी कंट्री में. एक बॉन्ड मार्केट होती है और दूसरा स्टॉक मार्केट होती है. अब हम बात करते हैं दूसरे फाइनेंशियल इंस्टीट्यूशन की, विच इज़ दी फाइनेंशियल इंटरमीडियरीज. और इसमें सबसे पहले द मेन फाइनेंशियल इंटरमीडियरीज का जो रोल प्ले करता है एज ए फाइनेंशियल इंस्टीट्यूशन आर द बैंक्स. नो, तो बैंक्स के बारे में बात करें कि व्हाट आर द रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज ऑफ ए बैंक which is a financial institution. Now, banks take deposits from people who want to save money and use these deposits to make loans to the people who want to borrow, right? So the job of the bank is that they open the deposits, take the deposits from the peoples who want to save money and lend that money to those people who want to invest or who want to borrow money from the banks. Now, the pay depositor interest on their deposits, and so the banks pays interest to the persons who save money and deposit that money into the banks and charge interest rate a bit higher than they pay to the depositors from the borrowers when they give them money on as a loan. Banks helps to create a medium of exchange by allowing people to write checks against their deposits. So you can make transactions, you can make sale purchase through banks by writing checks, right? So banks can play an important role as a medium of exchange, right? As a medium of exchange means that whenever you want to buy or sell goods and services, or you want to make payments for investment, any sort of activity, any sort of transaction which you would like to make, so banks can play a major role by writing checks. You can write checks and you can make transaction with each other between the countries and also between the countries and also within the country. Now, a medium of exchange is a term that people can easily use to engage in transactions, right? So as we said that, so medium of exchange जो है is a facility by the banks which can be used to exchange goods and services in the economy and between the economies. This facilitates the purchase of goods and services, as we said, that within the country and between the countries. Another sort of financial institution is the mutual funds. A mutual fund is an institution that sells shares to the public and use the proceeds to buy a portfolio of various type of stocks, bonds, or both. So they allow people with small amounts of money to easily diversify, right? So in mutual bond funds means people can cooperate and they can basically sell share to the public and use a mutual fund is institution जिसका काम होता है कि लोगों को शेयर बेचते हैं और they use these proceeds to buy a portfolio of various type of stocks. बहुत सारे stocks, bonds, stocks का भी bonds का भी एक portfolio खरीदते हैं, और both दोनों का combination भी हो सकता है. And this way they allow people with small amount of money to easily diversify. तो इसमें अगर आपके पास थोड़े से भी पैसे हैं तो आप उसको डाइवर्सिफाई कर सकते हैं. आप स्टॉक भी खरीद सकते हैं, आप बॉन्ड भी खरीद सकते हैं. तो जो म्यूचुअल फंड है ये एक इदारा है जो कि आपको हेल्प कर सकता है. अगर आपके पास थोड़े पैसे भी हैं तो देन यू कैन इन्वेस्ट दैट मनी इन बोथ स्टॉक मार्केट एज वेल एज इन बॉन्ड मार्केट. There are some other financial institutions in the economy, like if we talk about credit union, pension funds, insurance companies. So these are other type sort of financial institutions which can also play, which also working or playing role in the economy. So we have talked about the financial systems. Financial system basically are the financial institutions जिनका काम होता है to make to coordinate between the savers and the borrowers. And हमने बात की कि दो तरह के फाइनेंशियल इंस्टीट्यूशन होते हैं किसी कंट्री में. वन इज़ दी फाइनेंशियल मार्केट, द अदर इज़ फाइनेंशियल इंटरमीडियरीज. फाइनेंशियल मार्केट्स में हमने दो मार्केट की बात की, स्टॉक मार्केट एंड बॉन्ड मार्केट. एंड फाइनेंशियल इंस्टीट्यूशन में हमने फाइनेंशियल इंटरमीडियरीज में दो इंस्टीट्यूशन की बात की. वन वाज द बैंक्स, द अदर इज़ म्यूचुअल फंड्स. राइट. So we have also talked about some other financial like credit unions, pension funds, and insurance company. So job of all these financial institution is to actively promote investment, savings in the economy, and encourage investment and play a role how they can utilize the saving of the people and lend money to the borrowers for investment. And now the next we have discussed the first part, which as we have outlined in our lectures, in the outline of the lecture, that first we will talk about financial system. Second thing that we are going to discuss in today's lecture is about the saving and investment in the national income accounts. Now recall that GDP is both the total income in an economy and total expenditure in the economy is output of goods and services. So as we know that GDP is both the total income in economy as well as total expenditure in the economy on goods and services. So we have already developed this national income identity जो कि आपको सामने नज़र आ रही है कि Y is equal to C plus I plus G plus NX. Now national income or the total country's income is equal to consumption plus investment plus government expenditure and net export. So as if we assume that it is a closed economy, अगर हम closed economy की बात करें तो closed economy क्या है? That is the economy which does not engage in international trade. So जब हम closed और open economy को इस तरह differentiate करते हैं कि closed economy ऐसी economy होती है कि जो trade में involve नहीं होती. And if we talk about open economy, it is that economy which is involved in international trade. No, so if we consider here it is a closed economy, so then the above equation will become Y is equal to C plus I plus G. तो NX जो component है closed economy में नहीं होगा because country is not involving itself in international trade. If we rearrange this equation, now if we subtract C and G from both sides or rearrange this equation, we will get Y minus C, Y minus G is equal to investment. Now the left side of this equation is the total income in the economy after paying consumption, after paying for consumption and government purchases, and is called national saving or just S, right? So अगर आप Y से टोटल नेशनल इनकम से कंजम्पशन को पे कर देते हैं और गवर्नमेंट परचेजेस माइनस कर देते हैं, तो दैट विल गिव यू द रिमेनिंग amount is known as the public saving, and we denote it by S. So if we say that Y minus C minus G is the public saving, so then the equation can be written as S is equal to I, which is saving is equal to investment, which tells us that whatever is the saving in the economy, that is going to be invested. Now national saving are saving is equal to, as we know that saving is equal to investment. Now this equation can be written as we know that saving is equal to y minus c minus g. So if we put this value here, s is equal to if we subtract and add taxes in this equation, so what we will get. चलिए मैं आपके लिए इसको थोड़ा सा लिख के हम कर लेते हैं कि जैसा कि आपको नजर आ रहा है सेविंग इज इक्वल टू इन्वेस्टमेंट. सो सेविंग इज इक्वल टू y minus c as we know from the previous equation. Now if we add and subtract taxes from this equation, so this will become like this. If we rearrange this equation, so that will become y minus t minus c plus t minus g. So this equation has two parts. One part is the y minus t minus c plus t minus g. So national saving, that is S, is basically the total income in the economy that remains after paying for consumption and government purchases. So this equation has two parts. अगर जब आपको नजर आएंगे, first part is known as the private saving. The second part, T minus G, is the public saving. Now private saving is the amount of income that household have left after paying their taxes and paying for their consumption. So y minus t minus c, that is the private saving, is the total income that household have left after paying taxes from its total income and paying for their consumption. तो जब consumption भी वो कर लेते हैं अपनी income में से, taxes भी pay कर लेते हैं, तो बाकी जो हिस्सा रह जाता है, that is known as the private saving. T minus G is the public saving. So public saving basically is the amount of tax revenue that the government has left after paying the government spending, right? So हमें पता है कि government की जितनी भी income है किसी economy में, that is from the taxes, right? So अगर taxes में से government spending निकाल दें, government purchases निकाल दें, जो चीज़ रह जाती है, that is the public saving. So public saving is equal to T minus G. Now we will continue with this. We'll talk about this. We explain this identity, which is saving is equal to investment, and then we have said that saving is equal to public saving plus private saving, and we would like to relate with this concept of surplus and deficit. Now if we say that T is greater than G, it means taxes are greater than government purchases, means revenue is greater than government spending. So this gives us the government runs a budget surplus because it receives more money and then it spends in the economy. Now the surplus of T minus G represent public saving. तो जब government के taxes ज़्यादा होते हैं, revenue ज़्यादा होता है, government spending से, उनके अखराजात से, जब उसकी income ज़्यादा होती है, जो चीज़ बच जाती है government के पास, उसको हम public saving का नाम देते हैं. So public saving is the difference between taxes minus government spending. Now if G is greater than T, it means spendings are greater than taxes. Government की जो खर्चे हैं, अखराजात हैं, वो रेवेन्यू से ज़्यादा हैं. जब खर्चे ज़्यादा होते हैं टैक्सेस से, तो क्या सूरत हाल होती है इकानमी में? It means there is a deficit in the budget of the government, right? खर्चे ज़्यादा हैं, इनकम कम है, टैक्सेस कम है, तो डेफिसिट होता है, and government has to finance this deficit through borrowing, domestic borrowing and our international borrowing. So for the economy as a whole, saving must be equal to investment, right? So अगर हम इकोनॉमी की बात करते हैं तो सेविंग शुड बी इक्वल टू इन्वेस्टमेंट. जितनी ही सेविंग होती है उतनी ही उस मुल्क में इन्वेस्ट हो जाती है. तो दिस वाज ऑल अबाउट सेविंग इन्वेस्टमेंट रिलेशनशिप. तो इसमें हमने क्या लर्न किया? सो वी स्टार्टेड, हम अगर पिछली स्लाइड पे जाएं तो व्हाट वी हैव लर्न फ्रॉम दिस अबाउट सेविंग एंड इन्वेस्टमेंट, तो हमने स्टार्ट किया from national income identity which is y is equal to c plus I plus g plus nx. उसके बाद हमने कहा कि if we suppose the economy is a closed economy that is without international trade, so then that equation can be written as y is equal to c plus I plus g. उसके बाद हमने कहा कि इसको रीअरेंज किया इक्वेशन को, तो वी गॉट y minus c minus g is equal to investment. So left part, which is if we subtract consumption and government spending from total income in the economy, so we'll get saving, public saving, national saving, and that is denoted by S, and we find the saving and investment identity. So and we said that saving is equal to investment. उसके बाद हमने बात की कि सेविंग जो है दो हिस्सों पे मुश्तमिल होती है, एक उसकी पब्लिक सेविंग होती है और दूसरी उसकी प्राइवेट सेविंग होती है. ना पब्लिक सेविंग को हमने कहा कि इट इज इक्वल टू y माइनस टी माइनस सी. अगर आप नेशनल इनकम से टैक्सेस को निकाल दें, प्राइवेट सेविंग इज इक्वल टू y माइनस टी माइनस सी. अगर आप नेशनल इनकम से, अगर इनकम से आप टैक्सेस को माइनस कर देते हैं और कंजम्पशन को निकाल देते हैं, द रिमेनिंग पोर्शन इज द प्राइवेट सेविंग. इसी तरह हमने पब्लिक सेविंग की बात की. अगर आप टैक्सेस में से गवर्नमेंट स्पेंडिंग को निकाल देते हैं, सो दैट गिव्स यू द पब्लिक सेविंग. सो टोटल सेविंग इन द इकोनॉमी इज इक्वल टू प्राइवेट सेविंग प्लस पब्लिक सेविंग. उसके बाद हमने बात की कि हमने दो चीज़ों को कंपेयर किया, टैक्सेस को और गवर्नमेंट स्पेंडिंग को. दैट इज द so we said that if taxes are greater than G, that it means the revenue of the government is greater than expenditure. तो जब ये सूरत हाल होती है तो इसको हम सरप्लस का नाम देते हैं. गवर्नमेंट का जो बजट है that is in surplus, right? तो जब बजट सरप्लस होता है तो it means that government is getting more income and spending less money in the economy. उसके बाद हमने कहा कि if G is greater than T or T is less than G, so that means the budget is in deficit, right? So revenues कम हैं, taxes कम हैं, गवर्नमेंट के खर्चे ज़्यादा हैं. तो जब ये सूरत हाल इकानमी में होती है तो इसको हम नाम देते हैं डेफिसिट का, कि एक मुल्क में डेफिसिट है. एंड हाउ द गवर्नमेंट फाइनेंस दैट डेफिसिट थ्रू बोरोइंग, वेदर फ्रॉम डोमेस्टिक बोरोइंग और इंटरनेशनल बोरोइंग. डोमेस्टिक बोरोइंग कहाँ से करते हैं? डोमेस्टिक फाइनेंशियल इंस्टीट्यूशन से करते हैं. अब प्रिंटिंग मनी से भी कर सकते हैं. दे कैन आस्क स्टेट बैंक टू प्रिंट मोर मनी एंड दे कैन बोरो मनी फ्रॉम द स्टेट बैंक, बोरो मनी फ्रॉम द कमर्शियल बैंक्स, और दे कैन बोरो फ्रॉम द इंटरनेशनल फाइनेंशियल इंस्टीट्यूशंस टू फाइनेंस दिस डेफिसिट. नाउ एज इकोनॉमी, जब एज इकोनॉमी होल की हम बात करते हैं तो जो हमने आइडेंटिटी मालूम की फ्रॉम द नेशनल इनकम आइडेंटिटी, दैट इज सेविंग एंड इन्वेस्टमेंट आइडेंटिटी, एंड वी सेड दैट इफ वी टॉक अबाउट economy as a whole, we can say that saving is equal to investment. So this was the second part of our today's lecture. Now we'll move to the third part of our lecture and we'll try to explain the market for loanable funds. Now financial markets basically, as we know, that coordinates the economy, saving and investment, राइट, इन दी मार्केट फॉर लोनेबल फंड्स. जो फाइनेंशियल मार्केट्स की हमने बात की थी अभी पिछली कुछ स्लाइड्स में, हमने कहा था कि जो मुल्क में फाइनेंशियल मार्केट्स होती हैं उनका क्या काम होता है. बेसिकली सेवर्स को और बारवर्स को दे हैव टू कनेक्ट, दे हैव टू कोऑर्डिनेट विद ईच अदर. सो फाइनेंशियल मार्केट्स कोऑर्डिनेट द इकोनॉमी of savings and investment in the market of loanable funds. The market of loanable funds is the market in which those who want to save supply funds and those who want to borrow they demand funds to invest for investment purposes. तो एक ऐसी मार्केट होती है, लोनेबल मार्केट फॉर लोनेबल फंड इज सच ए मार्केट जहाँ पे जो लोग सेव करते हैं उनको कहते हैं कि दे आर सप्लाइंग फंड्स, दे आर प्रोवाइडिंग फंड्स इन द मार्केट. एंड जो लोग बारो करते हैं फॉर द इन्वेस्टमेंट पर्पसेस उसको हम डिमांड का नाम देते हैं, डिमांड ऑफ फंड्स. तो market for loanable funds basically has two sides. One is as we have in the other markets, one is the supply of funds, other is the demand of funds. Now supply of funds comes from the savers when the people save money and supply that money in the market, right? So that is the supply of funds. And on the other side we have the borrowers, and borrowers want to borrow money from the financial institutions for investment purposes, and they demand funds. So that is the demand side of the market for loanable funds. Now loanable funds refers to all income that people have chosen to save. So that is loanable funds are the funds which people have chosen to save and lend out rather than use for their own consumption. तो ये ऐसा फंड होता है, ऐसे फंड्स होते हैं जो लोग अपनी इनकम से सेव करते हैं, और सेव करने के बाद they want to lend out that money as a loan to the borrower for some purpose, right? So they don't use this part of fund for the consumption. तो consumption से जो funds बच जाते हैं, so savers जो लोग मनी सेव करते हैं, so that part of funds is known as the loanable funds. तो जो पैसा, जो इनकम का हिस्सा खर्च नहीं होता, जो लोग सेव कर लेते हैं, they want to save their money, so that funds, and they want to lend that money to the borrowers. तो इसको हम कहते हैं loanable funds. Now the market for loanable funds, here we will talk about the supply and demand of loanable funds. Now as we said that the supply of loanable funds come from people who have extra income. So जैसा कि हमने कहा कि जो loanable funds हैं वो ऐसे लोगों से आते हैं जिनके पास extra income होती है and they want to save and lend out. तो जो लोग जिनके पास इनकम ज़्यादा होती है, कंजम्पशन करने के बाद पैसा बच जाता है, तो that money they want to save and lend it out to the other people as a loan, as to the borrowers, and then so that will become the supply of loanable funds. Now the demand for loanable funds comes from households and firms that wish to borrow from the market. तो दो तरह के लोग जो है डिमांड कर सकते हैं, दो तरह की जो लोग हैं इकोनॉमी में, लाइक इंडिविजुअल्स की बात कर सकते हैं ऑन वन साइड, ऑन द अदर साइड वी कैन टॉक अबाउट फर्म्स. इंडिविजुअल भी लोन को डिमांड करते हैं एंड फर्म्स कैन आल्सो डिमांड फंड्स. सो द डिमांड फॉर लोनेबल फंड्स is coming from two sides. One is from the individuals, one other from the firms that wish to borrow money to make investment. तो दोनों का जो ऑब्जेक्टिव होता है most of the time to borrow money to demand funds, right? So it is for the investment purpose. They want to make investment and they want to earn income in the future. Now the interest rate is the price of loan. So how we can determine, basically we have talked about the supply of funds that come from the people who save money, who have extra income, and the demand for loanable funds comes from the people who want to, from the individual and household who want to borrow money for investment. Now the price of loan basically is the interest rate. Interest rate is the term or is the parameter which determine the supply of funds in the market, in the loanable funds market, and also determines the demand of the funds, right? So it represents the amount that borrowers pay for loans. जो लोग लोन लेते हैं, उधार लेते हैं, तो उस पे इंटरेस्ट पे करते हैं, तो इंटरेस्ट एक सर्टेन अमाउंट वापस करते हैं बैंक को, फाइनेंशियल इंस्टीट्यूशन को. सो दैट इज नोन एज द इंटरेस्ट रेट, एंड द अमाउंट दैट lenders receive on their saving, right? So interest rate basically is the amount from the borrower side. अगर हम बात करें तो it is the amount that borrowers pay for their loans to the institutions, and if we talk about from the saver side, it is the amount which the saver got on their funds which they provide to the financial institutions or to the individuals to whom they have lended money or they have given loan to the people or the firms. Now the interest rate in the market for loanable funds is the real interest rate. तो जब भी कभी हम interest rate की बात करेंगे loanable funds market में, तो that would be the real interest rate. right? So now we'll try to bring equilibrium in the loanable funds market and try to determine the price of loan with the help of a diagram in the next slide. Now, as we know that financial market work much like other markets in the economy. जिस तरह की हमने दूसरी मार्केट्स की बात की, हमने जब माइक्रो इकोनॉमिक्स में पढ़ा था कि गुड्स मार्केट की बात की थी, तो देयर इज़ अ सप्लाई साइड, देयर इज़ अ डिमांड साइड. हमने ये कहा था कि प्राइस ऑफ द प्रोडक्ट इज़ डिटरमिन्ड बाय द मार्केट फोर्सेस विच आर डिमांड एंड सप्लाई, एंड प्राइस इज़ डिटरमिन्ड एट द पॉइंट वेयर डिमांड एंड सप्लाई interact each other, or where demand and supply is equal to each other, right? So that determines the price and quantity supplied in the market. इसी तरह हमने पीछे बात की फैक्टर्स ऑफ प्रोडक्शन मार्केट की बात की, फैक्टर्स मार्केट की बात की, जहाँ पे हम बात करते हैं डिटरमिन करते हैं प्राइस ऑफ द फैक्टर्स ऑफ प्रोडक्शन विद द हेल्प ऑफ डिमांड ऑफ लेबर और द डिमांड सप्लाई ऑफ लेबर, द डिमांड ऑफ कैपिटल एंड द सप्लाई ऑफ. सिमिलरली जब हम फाइनेंशियल मार्केट की बात करते हैं तो दे आर मच लाइक सिमिलर एज द फैक्टर मार्केट एज लाइक द गुड्स मार्केट. तो उसी तरह से यहाँ पे भी मार्केट होती है. सो वी हैव द सप्लाई साइड, वी हैव द डिमांड साइड इन द फाइनेंशियल मार्केट्स आल्सो, एंड द इक्विलिब्रियम ऑफ द सप्लाई and demand for loanable funds determines the real interest rate in the economy. तो इस चीज़ को हम एक्सप्लेन करते हैं एक डायग्राम के ज़रिए जो कि आपको सामने नज़र आ रहा है. As we know that in the graph we have two axes. One is the y-axis, the other is x-axis. On y-axis we are measuring the interest rate. On x-axis we are measuring the demand and supply of loanable funds. So as we said that as per we have the negatively sloped demand curve, demand for loanable funds. Now how we can explain why the demand curve for loanable funds or in the loanable fund market is negatively sloped. We can explain this if because demand of funds is related with the basically interest rate. So if the interest rate in the financial market, in the financial institution increased, so the demand for loanable funds goes down. Why? Because if the individuals or the firms borrow money from the banks or from the financial institutions, so what will happen? And the demand of funds will go down because the price they have to pay, the money which they have to return to the bank has increased, right, with increased interest. And if interest rates go down, demand for loanable funds goes up. Similarly, we can explain the relationship of the real interest rate with the supply of loanable funds. अगर interest rate बढ़ता है तो supply of loanable funds ज़्यादा हो जाती है, right? And if interest rate कम होता है तो supply कम हो जाती. So we have a negatively sloped demand curve and negatively sloped supply curve of the loanable funds market. So the equilibrium of real interest rate is at the point where both these two curves intersect each other, and that could be a point. That point is represented by point E, let us say. So E is the point where both demand and supply of funds is interacting with each other. So we have determined the real interest rate, which is 5%, and the demand of loanable funds and supply of loanable funds is equal, which is $1,200 US. Now how the government policies can affect saving and investment in the economy, and through that how we can explain this with the help of concept of loanable funds market. Now there are three factors that can affect the saving and investment. Taxes can affect saving, taxes can investment, and government budget deficit, right? So first we talk about the first policy of the government, and that is incentive for saving, or the saving incentive. This could be one of the parameter that can encourage the basically investment in the economy. Now, tax on interest income substantially reduce future payoff from current saving, and as a result reduce the incentive to save, right? So if the government increase taxes on the income, right, so basically there will be less incentive to save income for the future investment. The people would prefer to consume or spend their income at income instead of saving. Now, a tax decrease, on the other side, a tax decrease in the economy provide incentive for the household to save at any given interest rate, right? तो जब हम टैक्स और सेविंग और इंटरेस्ट रेट की बात करते हैं तो हमने ये कहा कि जब गवर्नमेंट टैक्स लगा देती है इनकम पे, लोगों की इनकम पे टैक्स बढ़ा देती है, तो देयर इज़ लेस इंसेंटिव फॉर द पीपल टू सेव at the given interest rate. And similarly, if government decrease that, and if the government decrease the taxes, and then this will provide incentive to the household to save more at some given interest rate in the economy. Now, the supply of loanable funds curve shift to the right, the equilibrium interest rate decreases, and the demand for loanable fund increases. Now, when we talk about increase or decrease in the interest rate, increase or decrease in the saving at a given interest rate with the change in tax level, so this can affect or this can shift the supply or demand curve of loanable funds. तो इसको हम explain करेंगे किस तरह से टैक्स की तब्दीली से सेविंग में तब्दीली आती है और डिमांड और सप्लाई ऑफ लोनेबल फंड्स में चेंज आती है, एंड द कर्व शिफ्ट एंड दैट अफेक्ट द इंटरेस्ट रेट एंड डिमांड एंड सप्लाई ऑफ लोनेबल फंड्स इन द मार्केट. नाउ सामने जो आपको डायग्राम नज़र आ रहा है, जैसा कि हमने बात की, दो एक्सेस हैं हमारे पास, वाई एक्सिस और एक्स एक्सिस. ऑन वाई एक्सिस वी आर मेजरिंग द इंटरेस्ट रेट. On x-axis we are measuring the loanable funds demand and supply. So we have original demand curve which is in the blue line, supply curve S1. So initial interest rate is 5% and the initial quantity demanded demand of loans and supply of loan is $1,200. Now, tax incentive for saving increase the supply of loanable funds. Now, if the government provides some tax incentive to the individual, to the household, or we say that if the government decrease taxes, अगर government taxes कम कर देती है, तो it means government provides incentive to the household or to the firms, to the individual to save more. When they save more, they supply more funds for the loanable markets, right? For the loanable funds market, right? So supply curve will shift rightward from S1 to S2, right? जब supply curve shift होता है from S1 to S2 and demand of loanable funds remains same, so what will happen to the interest rate? Interest rate will go down and the demand and the supply of loanable funds both will increase. तो जैसा कि हमने कहा था कि अगर इंटरेस्ट रेट कम होता है तो डिमांड भी लोनेबल फंड्स की बढ़ जाती है और सप्लाई भी बढ़ जाती है. तो द डिमांड रेज द इक्विलिब्रियम क्वांटिटी ऑफ लोनेबल फंड्स. तो इक्विलिब्रियम क्वांटिटी ऑफ लोनेबल फंड्स जो है वो बढ़ जाएगी फ्रॉम 1200 टू 1600. सो इफ ए चेंज इन टैक्स लॉ एनकरेज ग्रेटर सेविंग, the result will be lower interest rate and greater investment. So what we have concluded that if the government change in tax laws and encourage saving, the result will be lower interest rate and greater investment. So what we have concluded that कि जो investment का और interest rate का relationship है वो भी negative होता है. अगर rate of interest बढ़ जाता है तो investment कम हो जाती है, इन्वेस्टमेंट कम हो जाती है तो इन्वेस्टमेंट रेट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट कम हो जाता है तो इन्वेस्टमेंट बढ़ जाती है. तो दिस इज हाउ द गवर्नमेंट वी कैन इफेक्ट द सेविंग, interest rate and demand and supply of loanable funds in the market for loanable funds. This was the first policy of the government. Now we'll talk about the second policy of the government, policy 2. Now policy 2 is when the government provide investment incentive. पहले में हमने saving incentive की बात की. Now if the government provide investment incentive, now an investment tax credit increases the incentive to borrow, right? So increasing this will increase the demand for loanable funds, shift the demand curve to the right, and result in higher interest rate and greater quantity saved. So if a change in tax law encourage greater investment, the result will be higher interest rate and greater saving. So if the government provide investment incentive, right, with the introduction of new tax laws, so the result will be higher interest rate and greater saving. So we can explain this phenomena with the help of diagram. तो हम देखते हैं कि अगर गवर्नमेंट एक इन्वेस्टमेंट टैक्स क्रेडिट इंक्रीज करती है, then the demand for loanable funds will go up. तो जब डिमांड फॉर लोनेबल फंड्स गो अप होगा तो क्या सूरत हाल होती है? तो इनिशियली हमने देखा कि जो मार्केट है एक इक्विलिब्रियम पॉइंट पे है जहाँ पे ओरिजिनल सप्लाई ओरिजिनल डिमांड को इंटरसेक्ट कर रही है, राइट? तो हमने ये कहा कि इफ़ द गवर्नमेंट प्रोवाइड एन इन्वेस्टमेंट टैक्स क्रेडिट increase, the demand for loanable funds will increase and the curve will shift to the rightwards, right? So this new demand curve, which is D2, intersect the supply curve at some point, which is a new equilibrium, जहाँ पे इसको suppose पॉइंट ए का नाम देते हैं और नीचे वाला जो इनिशियल इक्विलिब्रियम उसको ई का नाम दे दें. तो ए पे क्या सूरत हाल है कि जब डिमांड फॉर लोनेबल फंड्स बढ़ती है, so the interest rate will go up and it raises the equilibrium quantity of loanable funds and this encourage more saving. तो हमने पॉलिसी 1 में बात की कि if government provide incentive to save, right, so that reduce the interest rate कम होता है, interest rate कम होता है तो investment बढ़ती है, राइट? तो सेविंग इन्वेस्टमेंट से जब सेविंग इंसेंटिव गवर्नमेंट प्रोवाइड करती है बाय इंट्रोड्यूसिंग न्यू टैक्स लॉज, तो दैट रिड्यूसेस इंटरेस्ट रेट एंड प्रमोट सेविंग इन द इकोनॉमी. और दूसरी पॉलिसी में हमने बात की कि जब गवर्नमेंट इन्वेस्टमेंट इंसेंटिव देती है बाय इंट्रोड्यूसिंग टैक्सेस और टैक्स लॉज, राइट, इन दैट केस दैट इंक्रीजेस इंटरेस्ट रेट एंड आल्सो इंक्रीज द सेविंग in the economy. Now the तीसरी जो पॉलिसी, the third policy is about the budget deficit, how the effect of government budget deficit can affect the market for loanable funds. किस तरह इफेक्ट कर सकती है? उसी तरह y एक्सिस इंटरेस्ट रेट हम मेजर कर रहे हैं और on x axis we are measuring the demand and supply of loanable funds. So original supply and demand curves are intersecting each other at some point, which determines the equilibrium interest rate in the market, which is 5%, and the equilibrium quantity of loanable funds is $1,200. Now suppose a budget deficit decreases the supply of loan. जब budget deficit होता है तो जो बजट, अभी हमने बात की थी बजट डेफिसिट कब होता है? जब टैक्सेस कम हो जाते हैं, गवर्नमेंट स्पेंडिंग यानी स्पेंडिंग्स आर मोर, अखराजात ज़्यादा है, टैक्सेस कम है, गवर्नमेंट की इनकम कम है, तो उस सूरत हाल को हम ये कहते हैं कि देयर इज़ बजट डेफिसिट. तो जब बजट डेफिसिट होता है तो गवर्नमेंट को ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा पैसे चाहिए होते हैं, सप्लाई ऑफ फंड्स विल गो डाउन. तो इससे क्या होगा? सप्लाई ऑफ कर्व जो है इन द S1 जो है ऑफ लोनेबल फंड्स, दिस विल शिफ्ट लेफ्टवर्ड, सप्लाई कम हो जाएगी. जब सप्लाई कम हो जाती है तो इंटरेस्ट रेट क्या है? अब नॉट बोथ दीज टू कर्व S2 एंड D original demand are intersecting each other at point M, right? M is the new equilibrium in the market of loanable funds. Now at this point what is happening? The interest rate has risen from 5 to 8% and the quantity of loanable funds decreases from 12 to $800. So when government reduces its national saving by running a deficit, इंटरेस्ट रेट राइजेस एंड इन्वेस्टमेंट फॉल्स। तो जब हमने कहा कि गवर्नमेंट बजट डेफिसिट में जाती है तो क्या होता है, द इंटरेस्ट रेट बढ़ जाता है और इन्वेस्टमेंट, ऑफ कोर्स हमने ये बताया कि जब इंटरेस्ट रेट बढ़ेगा तो इन्वेस्टमेंट कम हो जाएगी। ए बजट सरप्लस इंक्रीजेस द सप्लाई, जब बजट सरप्लस होता है तो सप्लाई ऑफ लोनेबल फंड्स बढ़ जाती है, द कर्व राइटवर्ड शिफ्ट हो जाता है। तो हाउ इट विल इफेक्ट द लोनेबल फंड्स मार्केट, इंटरेस्ट रेट जो है वो अगर सप्लाई कर्व राइटवर्ड शिफ्ट होता है तो इसको शिफ्ट करके आप देख सकते हैं इस ग्राफ पे, जब राइटवर्ड शिफ्ट होगा तो इंटरेस्ट रेट कम हो जाएगा, तो इंटरेस्ट रेट कम होता है तो उस मुल्क में, उस इकोनॉमी में इन्वेस्टमेंट बढ़ जाएगी। नाउ दीज आर द 3 पॉलिसीज दैट कैन इफेक्ट द सप्लाई एंड डिमांड ऑफ लोनेबल फंड्स in the market for loanable funds, right? So पहली पॉलिसी में हमने बात की, अगर गवर्नमेंट इंसेंटिव प्रोवाइड करती है, सेविंग एंड इंसेंटिव, तो हमने कहा इंटरेस्ट रेट कम हो जाएगा, इन्वेस्टमेंट बढ़ जाएगी। दूसरे में जब व्हेन द गवर्नमेंट प्रोवाइड इंसेंटिव फॉर इन्वेस्टमेंट, तो हमने कहा इंटरेस्ट रेट बढ़ेगी, इंटरेस्ट रेट बढ़ने से सेविंग्स बढ़ जाएगी। तीसरे में हमने बात की कि इफ हाउ द बजट डेफिसिट और सरप्लस can affect the supply of loanable funds in the market, right? हमने बात की अगर बजट डेफिसिट होता है तो क्या होगा, सप्लाई जो है लोनेबल फंड्स की कम हो जाती है और सप्लाई कर्व लेफ्टवर्ड शिफ्ट हो जाएगा, और जब सप्लाई कर्व लेफ्टवर्ड शिफ्ट होता है तो इंटरेस्ट रेट हमने देखा कि मार्केट में बढ़ जाता है, जब इंटरेस्ट रेट बढ़ता है तो इन्वेस्टमेंट कम हो जाती है। सो with budget deficit, when there is a deficit in the budget in the economy in the country, so the supply of loanable funds go down, interest rate goes up and investment goes down. And if there is a surplus of budget in the economy, so what will happen, supply of loanable funds will increase and the supply curve will shift rightwards. जब supply curve rightward shift करेगा the interest rate automatically कम हो जाएगी। जब interest rate कम होगा तो what will happen, the quantity of loanable funds will increase and this will promote investment in the economy. So this is how the government can affect the supply and demand of loanable funds in the economy by introducing different policies in the form of taxes, in the form of budget deficit, in the form of budget surplus. So this was all about today's lecture. So I just summarize what we have learned in today's lecture. तो आज हमने क्या सीखा, अभी चंद मिनट में उसकी समरी करेंगे and then we'll finish today's lecture. So we said that in the beginning financial system is made up of financial institutions such as bond market, stock market की हमने बात की, हमने banks की बात की और mutual funds की बात की। उसके बाद हमने कहा all these financial institutions act to direct the resources of household who want to save some of their income and in the hands of household and firms who want to borrow. तो हमने ये कहा कि इन फाइनेंशियल इंस्टीट्यूशन का ये काम होता है to make coordination between the people who want to save money from their income and the people who want to borrow money or the household who want to borrow money for investment purposes. उसके बाद आज हमने सीखा कि नेशनल इनकम अकाउंटिंग आइडेंटिटी से हमने ट्राई की, फाइंड किया सेविंग एंड इन्वेस्टमेंट आइडेंटिटी मालूम की। हमने कहा एज वी नो दैट वी हैव ए नेशनल इनकम आइडेंटिटी एंड विच इज y इज इक्वल टू सी प्लस आई प्लस जी प्लस एन एक्स। हमने कहा कि अगर क्लोज्ड इकोनॉमी की बात करते हैं तो एन एक्स जो है नेट एक्सपोर्ट जो है उसको हम निकाल देते हैं, तो फिर हमारे पास इक्वेशन रह जाती है y इज इक्वल टू सी प्लस आई प्लस जी। तो उसको जब हमने रीअरेंज किया एंड वी फाउंड दैट सेविंग इज इक्वल टू इन्वेस्टमेंट इन द इकोनॉमी एज ए होल। उसके बाद हमने बात की कि हाउ financial institution can play a role to promote the saving and investment in the economy, and then in the last part of our today's lecture we have discussed the market for loanable funds. तो जहाँ पे हमने कहा कि interest rate is one of the parameter in the economy which determine the demand of loanable funds and the supply of loanable funds. तो हमने ये कहा कि जो supply of loanable funds मार्केट है ये आम मार्केट की तरह काम करती है, जैसा कि हमने पीछे पढ़ा था माइक्रो में कि दो तरह की मार्केट्स की हमने बात की थी। वन वाज द गुड्स मार्केट, जहाँ पे सप्लाई और डिमांड डिटरमिन्स करती हैं प्राइस को, चीज़ों की और क्वांटिटी को। उसके बाद हमने फैक्टर मार्केट की बात की, जहाँ पे डिमांड ऑफ फैक्टर्स ऑफ प्रोडक्शन एंड सप्लाई ऑफ फैक्टर प्रोडक्शन डिटरमिन्स देयर प्राइसेस। तो सिमिलरली हियर इन द केस ऑफ loanable funds market, demand of loanable funds and supply of loanable fund determines the price of that particular fund loan and which is the interest rate. So जहाँ पे demand and supply of loanable funds कब intersect करते हैं, that determines the price of loan or funds which people want to borrow from the financial institution and that is the interest rate. उसके बाद हमने बात की कि how government can affect saving, investment, interest rate in the economy. तो हमने 3 पॉलिसीज़ की बात की। हमने पहली पॉलिसी ये कहा कि when government provide incentive to save more, in that case interest rate, हमने ये कहा जब save more की बात की, so supply जो है loanable funds की वो बढ़ जाती है। जब supply loanable funds की बढ़ती है तो interest rate कम होता है। जब इंटरेस्ट रेट कम होता है तो कंट्री में इन्वेस्टमेंट बढ़ जाती है। तो दिस इज द फर्स्ट पॉलिसी गवर्नमेंट कैन अडॉप्ट by providing investment saving incentive and can increase investment in the economy. और दूसरा जब हमने बात की एक और पॉलिसी की गवर्नमेंट की बात की कि when government want to provide incentive to the investment, जब इन्वेस्टमेंट के लिए इंसेंटिव प्रोवाइड करती है तो हमने ये देखा कि डिमांड कर्व जो है वो लोनेबल फंड्स की राइटवर्ड शिफ्ट होता है और इंटरेस्ट रेट बढ़ता है। जब इंटरेस्ट रेट बढ़ता है तो क्या होता है, इकोनॉमी में इन्वेस्टमेंट कम हो जाती है। तीसरी पॉलिसी जो हमने डिस्कस की आज कि हाउ गवर्नमेंट कैन प्रमोट इन्वेस्टमेंट एंड सेविंग इन द इकोनॉमी, दैट इज थ्रू बजट डेफिसिट एंड बजट सरप्लस। तो हमने ये कहा कि अगर देयर इज ए बजट डेफिसिट, अगर गवर्नमेंट के अखराजात ज़्यादा हैं इनकम से, टैक्सेस से, तो बजट डेफिसिट होगा। जब बजट डेफिसिट होगा तो सप्लाई जो है लोनेबल फंड्स की वो कम हो जाती है। जब सप्लाई कम होती है लोनेबल फंड्स की तो क्या होगा, ऑफ कोर्स इंटरेस्ट रेट बढ़ जाएगा। जब इंटरेस्ट रेट बढ़ता है इकोनॉमी में तो इन्वेस्टमेंट कम हो जाती है, बिकॉज इन्वेस्टमेंट और इंटरेस्ट रेट का नेगेटिव रिलेशनशिप है। एंड इफ देयर इज अ सरप्लस बजट इन द इकोनॉमी तो व्हाट विल हैपन, द सप्लाई ऑफ लोनेबल फंड्स विल गो अप एंड द कर्व विल शिफ्ट राइटवर्ड्स, राइट। तो जब कर्व राइटवर्ड शिफ्ट होता है तो इंटरेस्ट रेट कम होता है और इन्वेस्टमेंट बढ़ती है। दिस इज हाउ गवर्नमेंट कैन इफेक्ट द सेविंग एंड इन्वेस्टमेंट in the economy by introducing through loanable funds market, by introducing different policies from time to time. तो this was all about today's lecture. तो आज का लेक्चर स्टूडेंट्स यहाँ पे ख़त्म करते हैं। आप कोशिश कीजिएगा इसकी एक रीडिंग करें बुक से जाके, इंशाल्लाह आई होप कि आपको ये समझ आ जाएगा। स्लाइड से भी आपको मैक्सिमम इन्फॉर्मेशन मिल जाएगी। इसके बाद अगर कुछ मज़ीद इन्फॉर्मेशन आपने देखनी है तो यू कैन रीड बुक, द टेक्स्ट बुक एंड द रेफरेंसेस बुक। बहुत सारी बुक्स और भी आप लाइब्रेरी से देख सकते हैं एंड यू कैन अंडरस्टैंड दिस कॉन्सेप्ट फ्राम द बुक इन डिटेल। तो विद दीज वर्ड्स I finish my lectures here. Till next time, see you. Allah Hafiz.